Ladies and gentlemen, eyes that see and not just look,
Ears that listen and not just hear.
minds that analyze and not just wander aimlessly.
All this is on the Great Debaters Contest on KBC Channel 1. I am your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperanza Kapanga. The motion on the table today is socialist societies are superior to capitalist societies.
Proposing this motion, we have Njiriis High School.
And opposing this motion, we have Nginada Girls High School. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
A society of unity and cohesion versus a man-eating society. Victor Munyasia Njiriis School. Socialism as the basis of socialist societies. Socialism is a range of social and economic systems characterized by social ownership and democratic control. Now, anybody telling you this involves political systems, then maybe they need to visit investopedia.com. Now, what is a society? A society is a group of people who join together for a particular project, for a particular purpose. Now, an example of a society is Great Debaters Contest, because all of us here are here under one purpose: to find solutions through debates. Now, this is a society. It does not necessarily have to be a country. Superior means higher in ranking and importance. Capitalism as the basis of capitalist societies. An economic and political system in which societies, trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the people. Basically, this is a man-eat-man society. And you know what? A man-eat-man society promotes poverty. And poverty is against SDG number 1. Now, there are many socialist countries in the world right now, but not that many. We have Netherlands, Finland, Canada, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Ireland, New Zealand, and Belgium. I'm in love with sustainable development goals. Yes. And do you know why? Sustainable development goals are here for the current generation and for the future generations. Now, according to blog.peerform.com, majority of these socialist countries are in the forefront of performing most of these sustainable development goals. Now, we have Finland, which has one of the best education systems with no tuition fees and offers free meals to the students. Now, since we're speaking about facts, did you know that Finland, its literacy level is 100%? Now, that hits SDG goal number 4 of quality education right at the heart. Netherlands is very egalitarian and organized, even such that bosses do not treat their subordinates rudely. That is SDG goal number 8, which states that promotes sustainable and inclusive, decent work and economic growth. Now, we've got Canada. Now, Canada has mostly a free market economy. Also, Canada has free medical and health care, which is SDG goal number 3, good health and well-being. And get this, it is ranked as one of the best top 5 countries to live in by the UN and the Human Development Index. Now, we cannot be driven by selfishness and promote development in favor of current and future generations. So it is a fact that socialist societies are superior to man-eating societies, and that is a fact.
Proposer, you have 3 minutes to present your case.
In an economic aspect, socialist societies are societies whereby we have communal ownership of property. Unlike capital societies, where we have individual ownership of property. Opposing the motion that states socialist societies are superior to capitalist societies, I am Gladys Babu from Nginada Girls. In a capitalist society, there is individual ownership of property that leads to a healthy competition. This eradicates a man-eat-man society. Socialist societies bring about laziness. How will it feel, my audience? How will it feel that you have toiled and moiled? You have sacrificed your finances. You have put time into something only for others to benefit from your sweat. In a capitalist society, there is economic freedom, economic liberty. An example is Chris Kirubi, the owner of Capital FM. He has brought about employment. Kenya being a capitalist society, it has not limited him of owning all the property that he has owned. This brings about economic growth. Growth and expansion is possible as it increases the gross national product, thus leading to a higher standard of living. China, having emerged from a third world country, it is developing economically due to emulating capitalism.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for rebuttal.
It was not until we had a leaking tap in our house that I realized the extent of greed that capitalism had put into the society. Now, in our house, we like to promote SDG number 12, which promotes sustainable consumption of resources. And therefore, my father called a plumber to look at the leaking tap. 1 week later, the tap is leaking again, and therefore the same plumber is called to do the same job. A few days later, the same tap is leaking. And it was not until my father decided to look at the tap himself that he realized that the plumber was only creating a job for himself later by doing a shoddy job on the tap. A man-eat-man society. The plumber, a classical example of this. My name is Jeff Murishu, here to strongly propose that socialist societies are superior to capitalist societies. Now, greed is the root of all evil in this society. And maybe socialism is the big break that we have been waiting for. Socialism is the big solution that we have all been waiting for. Corruption has marred our society for decades and years. We all know of the Anglo-Leasing saga, the Goldenberg saga, and the recent NYS sagas. All this money that will have been put to better the society, but because someone is only concerned with making himself richer, because someone is only concerned with making his or her life better, he chooses to make the lives of millions of other people worse just to make himself better. He chooses to go against the basic principle of humanity, which is kindness, only to make himself better. Money which will have bettered the entire society is used and embezzled by only one person. Now, socialism promotes economic development. China is a classical example of this, drawn in contrast with our own country, Kenya. According to a study done by the World Bank, on worldbank.org, the poverty levels in China are 11.1%. That is 11.1% of the population is living below the poverty line. In Kenya, 42% of the whopping 44 million people in Kenya are living below the poverty line. In China, only 3.97% of the people are unemployed. In Kenya, 38% of our population is unemployed. According to the same study, in 2010, China had the largest economy. We all know of the dwindling state of the Kenyan economy today. China, in the spirit of socialism, has decided to extend this socialism to other countries such as our own. China has come to Kenya and constructed roads, constructed railway lines, and constructed other forms of infrastructure in promotion of SDG number 9, which promotes infrastructure, good infrastructure for the world. Now, they have seen that to make the world a better place, that to promote a better world for tomorrow, we need to work together as one. That we need to get over this man-eat-man society, that we need to get over our greed and decide that it is time that we all stand up for our future. Time that we all stand up and work not only for the betterment of ourselves, but for the betterment of everyone. Now, do you want to live in a man-eat-man society, or a society where everyone has equal chances and a better chance and a better shot at everything? Thank you.
You have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
I'm Yvonne Owero from Nginada Girls, opposing the motion that says socialist societies are superior to capitalists. I would like to pose a question to my dear opponents. Why blame the system when it is clear to me that it is the individuals that create the crime? So, in short, you want to tell me that even in the socialist societies, there are no people who engage in corruption. In socialism, the government hands out everything that's supposed to be given to the rest, which is supposed to be equally distributed to everyone. But do you want to tell me that the government officials will be equal, they'll have equal resources to the people living there, to the common mwananchi who is down there busy struggling? Do you want to tell me so, my dear audience? No. If it could be equal and no corruption, then everyone could be equal. I could be living the same social status as that government official over there who is the one who is busy handing out all the property and the wealth to be distributed equally. Motivation, innovation, and creativity. All these create development. Let's say you are here, you want to do something. You'll have to have that motivation in you, that self-confidence in you, that drive in you to be able to do whatever you want to do. But if you're told to do it just for the sake of doing it, without nothing to aim for, without a goal to aim for. Let's take an example, Steve Jobs. He created the prototype computer. He did it to invest something new, to promote something new that wasn't there. He sat down and thought of a better way of improving himself, of improving the living status that he lives in. And also, he knew that by inventing whatever he invented, there was higher possibilities, there were higher chances of aiming something. Let's say, for example, if I give you this land and I tell you to till it, to make it fertile by producing crops from it, you'll just do it just for the sake of doing it. But if I tell that there will be a reward after this, obviously you'll do it your best because you're aiming for that reward, you're aiming for that thing. But where is it fair that someone to eat from your sweat? You invent something, then someone comes and takes it. What will be the need? It will be better to sit down and roam around and just flow with the flow of the people, won't it? Then there is free ownership and market owned by the individuals. You own your thing, it becomes yours. It doesn't matter just because it's yours, you can't be able to help the rest. If I own a company, I can't manage my company alone. I'll have to employ other people. Thus, I'll be creating good employment for everyone. The people who will qualify to be in my company shall qualify.
The proposers have been asked, having stated that China is a socialist country, yet China comes to build roads for Kenyans, does the building of roads benefit them or benefit Kenyans as a capitalist country? The opposers have been asked to state an example of a country that is capitalist and the advantages it has over a socialist country. Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to answer the question.
I, for one, refuse to be led away from the light. I, for one, refuse to be led into the darkness. A wise man once said, "United we stand, divided we fall." Peter Miner from Njiriis School. First, I would like to address the question proposed by our esteemed audience. I would like to remind you of SDG goal number 17, partnership for the goal. You can see clearly that China is coming to build our infrastructure, yet we get a mutual benefit. It's a win-win situation for every country. China benefits, Kenya benefits. The SGR, it was built by Japan. Also, China had a hand in it. So I don't see why that one country should benefit from it when it's a win-win situation. I would like to address the issue that the opposer said, that you toil, and only to share your benefits with another person. I would like to ask you, where is your humanity? How can you sit there? You have toiled, yes, you have the benefits, but where is your humanity? How can you see your fellow brethren suffer there from hunger, from malnutrition, from marasmus, yet you just sit there, just looking at them? You are blinded, but what should blind you? These are fellow brethren, your countrymen. Why should you let that pettish things blind you for the greater good of the community? Since we should embrace each other to make these SDGs a vision, and a reality. I'd like to refer to the WWE, worldeconomicforum.com. It clearly states, this is a forum that measures the progress in the SDG index by the 149 countries we have. And it's clearly that the top 4 countries are socialist countries. Why should we refuse this? Why should we refuse the idea to embrace our brothers? This is clearly stating, like, for example, the first country is already attaining 16 of the 17 development goals. Why should we refuse this ideology of embracing our brothers so we can continue this SDG? Why? I ask you that question. Why? These socialist communist societies also promotes our national unity and development. How do you want to develop when this is individual? You are there, I'm there. How do you want to develop? How do you want us, a country, to go together? How do you want us to go in one straight path, yet you are divided? I stand by this. A wise man once said, united we stand, divided we fall. How can we continue with our country? How can we promote these SDGs without having one unity? How can we promote these SDGs without having unity, cohesion? How can we promote these SDGs? Why? Why should we refuse the fact of the socialist societies? Why should we refuse this fact? For a matter of fact, it's helping us promote these SDGs. Then why should we refuse it? As a matter of fact, Cuba, one of the socialist societies, has one of the best healthcares in the world. As a matter of fact, its life expectancy is 79.55, according from the World Bank and Investopedia.com. And why should we refuse this? We're seeing that national cohesion and unity is helping Cuba develop its health centers. Why should we refuse this ideology? I, for one, stand firm. I rest my case.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to respond to your question.
Firstly, let me answer your question. Countries that are socialist and capitalist, Kenya and Tanzania, benefits. There is economic growth. Like in Kenya, everyone is working hard to be able to have a good life. In Tanzania, they're doing it communally. So you find that there's this lazy person that is going to depend on the other one to work. To my fellow proposers, you asked us a question, why don't we have that heart to assist? What led you to be lazy? Why don't you work like me? I have to sweat to be able to earn what I want. Why can't you do the same? We have no limits. Like, for instance, in academic-wise, we find that it doesn't depend whether you're in a national school or a sub-county school. It depends on how you work. If you work hard, you can be able to attain that grade to go to the university. So you can work and have a better life like I have. Goods and services are produced depending on the demand in a capitalist society, which leads to reduction of wastage. Like, for instance, in my school, we order loaves of bread from Festive Company. We come and order 50 crates. They bring the 50 crates, and we pay for them. But in a socialist society, they produce the loaves and take them to market. Not every loaf is going to be bought. So the rest are going to go to waste. Capitalist society will also promote the will to work. No one wants to be poor. You all wish to live in big places like Muthaiga. You all wish to drive this Lamborghini. You all wish to have a better life. So, why do you want to depend on someone else's sweat? Work and work for your own good life. Work in order to be able to have good life.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for a final submission.
No poverty, no hunger, zero inequality, peace and stability in the world. Picture a society where life is all good. This is the type of world that the SDGs are seeking to promote. Jeff Murichu, Njiriis. Now, the SDGs were not only made for educated fellows like us and our opponents. The SDGs were not only made for people who have good chances at life, but the SDGs were made for everyone, educated and uneducated, rich and poor. SDGs were made for everyone in this society and not only the greedier in this society. Now, it is said that selfishness has marred the eyes of some of us in this society. It is said that selfishness has hidden us from the light. And now today I stand here to speak for all those people who are waiting for equal chances in this life. If we build a man-eat-man society, who is going to be here to enjoy the good life that the SGD is going to build for us? If we build a man-eat-man society, and each man eats the other, who is going to be here to live in the good world that the SDG is going to create? Thank you.
Opposers, you have 1 minute to make a final statement.
Common sense is not common. Gladys Njoroge, Ginda Girls. Barack Obama and Gladys Njoroge have no difference. We all have brains. We all have our senses. But there's this person in this socialist society that is going to sit down, wait to be given the equal shares by the government, just because the government is going to give you that share. Why don't you stand and work and have your better life?
Get a girls team. Gladys 1, I appreciate that you appeared a bit systematic in your thoughts and in your presentation, which is a plus to your team. To Njiriis, hi. Quite confident and a lot of presence on stage, which is a good thing for all of you. A good and strong introduction from Victor, which was well supported by very many facts of many countries that have embraced socialism and what they've been able to achieve as a result of that. Jeff, I like your use of the story of the plumber. It helps to show us the ugly side of capitalism, and I think that was your intention, and it came out quite well. To Peter, you also had enough points, enough materials to use. You also had a very good use of rhetorical questions, although I want to caution you about overusing them. Do not ask these rhetorical questions after every other comment that you make.
Our judges have deliberated and they've decided. Nginada Girls High School, you were awarded 68%. Let's clap for them. With a difference of 3%. Njiriis School, you were awarded 71%, making you the winners of this debate. Let's clap for them. Congratulations to both teams for a job well done.
We'd like to appreciate everyone who's taken part in this debate and the patrons that have been bringing the students for the debates. We'd also like to appreciate our sponsors, Blaze by Safaricom and Brand Kenya Board, for facilitating this. The conversation still continues on all our social media platforms. The hashtag is GDC for SDGs.
Remember, you can also be part of the Great Debaters Contest by implementing at least one sustainable development goal and also continuing the same with the conversation. I have been your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperancia Kapanga. Stay tuned.